Hi everyone, and welcome back to the engineering discipline, major series.
Mhm.
Uh, with me today, I have Katelyn Schmeckby. Actually, Caitlin, why don't you tell us about yourself?
I'm a senior mechanical engineering major from Summerville, South Carolina. I'm getting a minor in math and I'm graduating this upcoming spring.
Nice. So I guess we'll start from sort of the beginning of freshman year. Can you tell me about freshman year, what you liked in that general engineering discipline, etc.?
Freshman year, we took one engineering class each of our first 2 semesters. The first one was focused on Excel, and it was really interesting because I had never thought that much about Excel before that. And then it also just taught us basic conversions and stuff. I also took the seminar, the Engineering 1000, that talks about all the different disciplines and brings in speakers from each of the majors. And that kind of did help me decide that I wanted to do mechanical. And then second semester, I took my SolidWorks class and then a MATLAB class. I think all of the engineers minus chemical are required to take MATLAB. That was really hard for me because I'd never done any programming before, but I really like SolidWorks, which is a 3D modeling class. I also lived in Rise my freshman year and had a bunch of STEM majors on my floor. So I think that was really helpful for all my classes, getting to study with people who also lived in the same area. And that's where made a lot of my core friends that I still hang out with today.
Okay, and you said you took SolidWorks and
Mm-hmm.
you took that Engineering 1000 seminar.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine those both help push you towards mechanical. Is there anything else that helped you decide?
Um, I took chem and chem lab my first semester, and that's where I decided that I didn't want to take any more of that subject. I like taking the math classes and the physics classes more. And so that's kind of why I leaned into mechanical after my second semester.
Okay, so once you got into mechanical, well, actually, let's start here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm industrial. A ton of people watching this are general or they're leaning a different way. Can you tell us just about mechanical engineering in general, both sort of the professional side that you know about and also the school side, what you learn, what a mechanical engineer does, etc.
Mechanical engineering is super broad. There are a lot of different professions that you can take with it. I personally did manufacturing internships, and that involved a lot of that 3D modeling from SolidWorks that I had learned. And then I did project management things. And then in my second internship, I did some structural design, which is includes SolidWorks, but also some of the other classes that we take, such as machine design, where we go more in depth on like static forces and all of that stuff. I also took a heat transfer class and thermodynamics, which is another side of mechanical engineering that you can go into, and like HVAC systems and stuff like that. We take dynamics and statics. Now you can take them separately or together, but back in the day that we had to take them together. Dynamics is just a moving version of statics. And then after that, we take a dynamic analysis class where we focus more on how to manipulate dynamic systems to produce certain output responses. Now I'm taking a controls class, which has to go along with dynamics and shows a little bit about block diagrams and controllers and stuff, which is kind of electrical. We also had to take an ECE class, which is basic circuits and magnetic forces. So there's a lot of different stuff that you can do with mechanical engineering. I personally have done manufacturing stuff, but we touch it all in kind of the classes that we take.
Okay, and those different paths within mechanical, you
Mm-hmm.
said you went manufacturing, you can go sort of more controls route. Are those
Mm-hmm.
stated disciplines or are they just electives you can take? What are we?
So we are required to take a manufacturing processes class. We're required to take a controls class. We have all the basics. We're required to take fluids classes, thermodynamics classes, but then starting junior, senior year, you have to take 4 different technical electives where you can specialize there. They offer a lot of manufacturing technical electives. I'm in one this semester. I'm taking a nuclear energy technical elective next semester. They have a bunch of automotive design technical electives and dynamics of automotives, and stuff like that. So you get like an emphasis of each of them in your required classes, but then can choose to specialize with your tech electives.
Okay, that's awesome. And then you also earlier you said you have done two internships. Can you tell us a little about those?
Sorry, what did you say?
You said you'd done two internships earlier. Can you
Mhm.
tell us a little about those?
So I did my first one through the Clemson co-op program, actually. So that made it really easy. They had a lot of companies, and you can go through and choose which ones you want to interview with, and then you get offer letters. My offer was for two rotations. I went up to Iowa and did an internship at Bridgestone's tire manufacturing plant, and that taught me a lot of technical things as well as like soft skills, like learning better time management, as well as kind of being independent for the first time since I was so far away. I did a lot of smaller projects under a mechanical engineering mentor, and these projects were SolidWorks based. I was able to work a lot with contractors and stuff to get them installed. And then I got a capstone project from my mentor at the end of my rotation, which kind of touched more on machine design too, as I was editing some of the actual machines they had, changing some of the components. And then my next internship was at a steel mill over this past summer. This one I just found on my own through the Clemson Career Fair, actually. But I had set up my interviews for that, and that was a mechanical engineering internship. At that one, I did the structural design project. I had to use what I learned in one of my classes to calculate like moments, loads, deflections on a piece of steel that I was going to be getting fabricated and installed. I had to like look at what kind of different steel shapes, like what size channels I would need to support certain loads. And then I also did a project at this internship that had to do with water treatment, which was something different too, and is actually a like section of mechanical engineering that is pretty important and a lot of people do. That taught me a lot about 2D AutoCAD, which was the other side to the 3D Inventor. And there I was able to learn a lot about different types of water strainers and valves and stuff, as well as look at fluid flow to determine like the best components. So I think that was a pretty varied internship. Like I got a lot of different aspects of that one.
Yeah, I was just about to say I didn't realize mechanical was such a broad field. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably ignorant to say because I'm engineering, but we don't get,
Yeah.
Also, a little sidebar for the freshmen listening. You should check out the co-op program. I did not do it, and I wish I had. It's an awesome program. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
For sure.
moving on though, do you have any sort of dream companies you want to go back work for? Do you want to go back and work for anywhere you intern, somewhere you co-opt? What are you thinking for after college, grad school?
I think that grad school for mechanical engineering would be very helpful. Like you would get to specialize, but I'm not really looking to go that route unless I can get a company to pay for it for me.
Okay.
And I am kind of at the point, the end of fall semester, where I have to start like accepting job offers and stuff. I think that I am going to go work with Boeing after I graduate, which is really cool because I am interested in kind of the aerospace side. Clemson used to offer aerospace technical electives, but this is the first year that they aren't offering them. I am in a creative inquiry that is kind of aerospace design, though. It's design, build, fly, which a lot of mechanical engineers do. So if that's still around, you guys should check it out. But I think I do like the manufacturing and like structural analysis side, which is where I would be going. I think it would be also very cool to work at a nuclear shipyard. So that's also something that I'm looking into. There are a lot of opportunities though, which is really nice.
Okay. Well, if you think do you know what you might be doing for Boeing, roughly?
Yeah, so I would be doing a systems analysis role, which would go with my dynamic analysis class that I took, which is probably my favorite class that I've taken at Clemson. Um, which would be looking at like the landing gear system and saying, hey, like we don't want it to have as much like force and stuff when it's touching down. Like, how do you design the attachment to the plane that would do that? How would you design the suspension? A lot of different components. So
Okay, that's awesome. And then final question would be, do you feel like you chose the right major? And do you have any regrets going back?
I definitely think mechanical engineering is for me. I've really enjoyed all of my classes, and just how much there is to do within mechanical engineering. One regret that I would have going back is that I didn't utilize the class in mechanical engineering machine shop as much as I could have, where they have all of the different like drill presses, mills, lathes. You can even like learn to weld and get a certification there. It's right by Cooper, and I think that that would have been something that I would have really enjoyed doing my first few years of college.
Yeah, to everyone listening, you should do the same. I did get certified there, and then I've just never gone back and used it, which I kind of feel terrible about. But who knows?
Christmas is
Maybe I'll
coming
use
up.
it
You
this
could make some
semester.
cool Christmas gifts there.
Well, all right. Thank you so much for doing the interview, and I'll hear from you later.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you. Bye.